Hello, I'm Ben Williams, and today I'm going to be introducing 5 Minutes of Field with Old Tin Cup Habitat Restoration and Enhancement. A lot of people ask me how I got into the outdoors and how I got into doing what I love to do. And basically it all started with my dad. When I was growing up hunting and fishing, every time he'd go out, he'd tag me along with him. So I guess you can kind of blame him for my addiction to the outdoors and whatever. So after high school, I went to Finger Lakes Community College, where I received 2 applied associate's degrees in natural resource conservation and fisheries and wildlife technologies. Since then, I've continued to learn and become more knowledgeable in all forms of management. I'm becoming very involved with the Greater Rochester Southern Tier branch at QDMA right here in New York in the Finger Lakes region where I'm from, and became a level 1 QDMA deer steward, and I'm planning on taking my level 2 here in September. So with that being said, a little kind of introduction about these webisodes and stuff I'm going to be putting together. It's going to be for the everyday common landowner that's looking to do a little bit more for management on their own piece of property or piece of property that you may lease. We're going to be giving you tips, tricks, advice, and all kinds of information and stuff like that along the way to help you be a better land steward. So to start this kind of introductory webisode off, we're going to kind of look at a little bit of what we've been able to do on our piece of property here in the past couple of years with some of the deer that have been taken off the property through hunting, and then others that have been found during shed season and such. So starting down at the bottom right was my first buck I ever harvested with the bow back in 2010. Great deer, 2.5-year-old, scored in the 1 teens. And the other buck down at the bottom left is the buck I shot this past year. Scored in 111, I believe he scored. And then the 2 bucks up here, this buck was found during bow season. He scores just under 120. Great 3-year-old. Kind of a shame to see him go that way, but that's part of managing and part of hunting, is finding deer that have been hit by cars or not recovered by other hunters. And then this is kind of the centerpiece of my shed season this past year. This is a mainframe 6x6 with a G2 kicker that ends up scoring 174. Great deer for any region in the United States. Just a phenomenal deer. And then as well, some of the sheds that we found this past season. And that was kind of capitalized by this buck we called Tall Browed 8. That just a great deer and became quite a regular toward the end of the season, so we'll hopefully try to connect with him later on this year. So that's kind of the intro, kind of teaser for what's to come with 5 Minutes of Field with Old Tin Cup Habitat Restoration and Enhancement. So I'll see you in the field. In every 5 Minute of Field video, we're going to go over a plant of the week and tip of the week, and this week it's combined into one. I'm standing next to a white pine. White pines are very beneficial for tree stand trees, as well as nesting cover for songbirds and such as you hear around me. Also, you can use limbs and such for rubbing posts, and we'll talk about that in future episodes. And also, this tip of the week combined in is remembering your pines. White pine has 5 needles per fascicle, or per bundle of needles, WHITE, 5, and your red pines have 3 needles per fascicle, and that's RED. There's your tip of the week and plant of the week from Old Tin Cup Habitat Restoration and Enhancement. Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode of 5 Minutes of Field with Old Tin Cup Habitat Restoration and Enhancement. Check us out on Facebook, and feel free to call me anytime at 315-879-7802 or email me at otc.management@yahoo.com. And tune in June 14th for episode number 2, where we're going to show you how to put more of these in your hand and venison in your belly.
It sits above the mantel on a couple rusty nails, and And it's worth a bunch of money, but it damn sure ain't for sale. The good Lord only knows all the stories it could tell. Granddaddy's gun, he bought it new out of the Sears and Roebuck catalog, and it shot a mini shell over the top of an old bird dog. And it backed a burglar down when Grandma took the safety off Granddaddy's gun. It's just a double-barrel 12. The stock is cracked and it kicks like hell. It wouldn't mean what it means to me to no one. I can hear his voice when I put it to my shoulder. A gun's like a woman, son, it's all how you hold her. It taught me a whole lot more than how to hunt. And one of these days I'll pass it on to my son, Granddaddy's gun.